Any sensible person watched the show Squid Game and thought this would make a really good Mr. Beast video. He could definitely replicate that. And most people thought Netflix themselves could replicate that and it would be a really cool show. I get it, Squid Game is anti capitalist, but who cares? You already get those same exact messages in Mr. Beast's video. And honestly, this Netflix show. So let's make them compete head to head. Mr. Beast Squid Game versus Netflix Squid Game The Challenge. Now, Squid Game The Challenge is a much bigger production. It's an entire Netflix series, whereas Mr. Beast video is a 20-minute video for YouTube. Both have their pros and cons. We'll go through it and decide a winner. So first we'll talk about the prize money, which is a enormous factor, right? Because it's what they're competing for, it's what they're there for. Now, Mr. Beast's prize is reasonable for a YouTube video at $456,000. The prize money for the Netflix show, 4,500,000. Ugh. 4,560,000. Don't know why I had a brain fart there, but I did. So the reason this is really significant is because it's literally 10 times the amount of money. Both are life-changing amounts of money. One will buy you a house, one will buy you 10 houses. Like, one will buy you a reasonably sized house in today's economy. One will buy you a reasonably sized house and enough money to pay the taxes, own a crappy vehicle, and buy food for the rest of your life. So basically, one is retirement and one is a house. One is like the first step of three major steps towards retirement. So, what people are competing for in both of these, yeah, they're giving it their all, but in totally different ways. The Netflix series is a week long. The Mr. Beast video, I assume, was filmed over 2 days or one day. And seeing people compete for an enormous life changing, basically over $2 million after taxes, people are going to be way more ruthless, and they are. They're going to be way more emotional, and they are. It's going to be way more entertaining, and it is. Just on the premise that it's such a much more serious level of money. It's basically winning the lottery. There's no way it can't be life changing, right? Next, we're going to talk about the contestants on the show. So both shows have, I believe, the exact number of contestants that the original drama series had. So it's quite a bit of people. You see here on the left, Mr. Beast, red light, green light. And the Mr. Beast sets were like really cool. They did a really good job. It's just that the sets for the week-long Netflix show were a bit better. No question about it. They actually had the like dormitory with all these beds, which makes sense. But to talk about the contestants overall, when you're doing the show for one day with Mr. Beast, yeah, maybe you'll have a couple of moments between games to talk to each other, form alliances, and try to muster up a really quick strategy. When you're on the Netflix show, you're stuck in there for a week, right? Like you're living with these people, and there's a ton of downtime between the games. So there's all kinds of social dynamics at play. You build such deeper, stronger friendships, and it's all the more shattering when you have to eliminate people because you genuinely care about them. And a lot of the contestants talk about how other contestants that they like, or maybe even ones that they don't like, really need the money. So it's just the contestants, once again, for the Netflix show are just way, way, way ahead of the contestants on the Mr. Beast show, but that's just the structure of the shows. Clearly, you as a viewer, you're going to get to know the contestants on the Netflix series, whereas you are now not going to know pretty much anything about any of the contestants on the Mr. Beast video. Two totally different styles, and one is far superior if you like reality shows, right? If you're down for a series, if you want to see something that's beyond just a quick 20-minute fluff YouTube video, something where it's actually like real and about the humanity of the people. And that's what I think a lot of people who criticize this are completely overlooking, that this show is entirely about the humanity of these people. Almost all of them struggle a lot to have to eliminate each other, and the pure ruthlessness of what they're doing. That's a huge part of the entertainment value of this show, and it's very important. We'll move on to the games. So I won't spoil everything that happens in this Netflix series. Go and watch it. You can see here that they do a battleship game. And with the games, it's more about when they happen. That's more important. Like Mr. Beast, they just stick to the games in the show. So it's kind of, the contestants can predict it. And I really don't like that they had Tug of War, because I think Tug of War is easily the stupidest game. It's just who's stronger. That's really lame. That's actually just incredibly wildly lame. There's no real drama to it. It's just, it's something that lends itself more to the series, because you have these like really, this underdog team who comes out on top. Whereas in reality, that's just not going to happen. That doesn't happen in the Mr. Beast Squid Game. So I have to give it to the Netflix series. They do a better job. Like the fact that they have to interject other games that aren't in the series, um, really makes a difference, right? Because Mr. Beast did his Squid Game shortly after, like when it was a lot more topical to do a Squid Game, he did one. Whereas by the time this Netflix series happened, the show had been around for a while. A lot of these people who are on this Netflix show have not only seen the original Squid Game series, but they also saw the Mr. Beast video. So they have so much information to go off of when they go into these games. So way less of them get eliminated in the Netflix series because of that. So they need to like interject more games and more ways to eliminate people, because they don't just do, they decided not to do the tug of war, because tug of war is so unfair and ridiculous, right? Because so many people are just guaranteed gonna lose, and that's lame. There should at least be like a 0.1% chance that you're going to win, instead of just, oh well, I get shafted with the team that's super physically weak, I stand no chance here. So yeah, if it wasn't obvious already, the Netflix series wins. It's way more dynamic. People playing for nearly $5 million. It's so much more interesting. You get to know them so much better. It's such a longer burn, and it just is all the more satisfying. The finale I haven't watched yet. I've watched everything up to that. The finale drops tomorrow. I will be reviewing it. I'm very excited for it. The contestants, it, because you get to know them throughout watching the series, you get to root for certain people, you get to root against certain other people. Whereas watching the Mr. Beast video, as much as I like it and it's well done and it's awesome and I'm glad he did it and I recommend you watch it, you don't care. There's no reason to care who wins or lose, because they're just random people. You don't know anything about them, right? Whereas here you get actual like interviews with the people. They talk about their lives. They make you see them form these like bonds with each other and grow as people and actually be affected by what's happening to them, as it's a week long, not a day long. So when it's a day long, you don't even have time to process. You're just in competitor mode for a day, right? Whereas you're in there for a week, you're kind of going in and out of that competitive and that who are you as a person, right? It's this epic journey because when you're stuck with people for a week, you're not like doing other stuff. It isn't like you just live with someone for a week and you're just going to work on your downtime, or like hanging out with people on your downtime, messing around on your phone or your computer or whatever it may be. No, you're locked in. You're living in a dormitory with these people. Like look at these two images right here demonstrate it perfectly. You have all these people looking directly at Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is kind of the focus of that entire YouTube video, honestly. Um, Whereas the focus of the Netflix series is these people and the groups they form and the bonds they form and what the money actually means to them. So it's just way more entertaining. So hands down, it's got to be the Netflix series. I get the irony that Squid Game is anti-capitalist and they're playing for money, but they're really not just playing for money, right? They're building tons of friendships. They're testing themselves. They're learning way more about themselves than they otherwise would. And the money's really nice, right? It allows them to reflect on what that money means to them. And you literally get to see that. So you, as the viewer, you also get to reflect on what that money means to you and how you might act in that scenario, whether you would be able to cut these people you form this deep friendship with. A lot of people can't really comprehend that because they can't imagine being just trapped with somebody for a week. It's almost like it's almost like the equivalent of like being taking an entire college program with somebody. In fact, it's probably even more than that, because think about those times when you're stuck with people for a really long time. You're forced to get to know them because there just isn't anything else to do. And in here it's amplified because there's not even like school and you aren't even um not that much of your day is like spent on the games. So your focus is on yourself and on each other. And that's awesome. And that's what the show's actually about. Don't let the idiots who criticize this stuff steer you away from watching this because it's really cool. And the prize money of $4.5 million is unheard of. It's enormous. You turned on Survivor, which is a phenomenal reality competition show. The prize is $1 million, right? This is almost 5 times that. So you can just imagine what these people have to do to maintain their shot at that money. It's incredible. Check both of these videos out. They're awesome. Bye bye.